And, you know, with that, we want people to stand on merit. You can't level the playing field by putting your thumb on the scale. And we have spent tens of millions of dollars on the DEI failed initiative. And it ended with people being less tolerant and more divisive. And we could have spent that money on scholarship opportunities for people. And so, in general, we want college campuses to be the place for the free expression of exchange of ideas. And so, in doing that, being able to speak freely, being able to speak with conviction. I know the last few years we kind of felt like stuff was being shoved down our throat, and so I think we now have the opportunity where we can stand with confidence and speak about what we believe in and why it's right. Charlie Kirk was not a divisive person. He encouraged debate, and that's what he did at every one of his campuses events. And so that would be the way to promote free speech on the planet.
Thank you. That's a great question. My God, man just lost his life for free speech. He went to campuses inviting dialogue. And even though he didn't agree with many of the people that would come to his rallies, he was very passionate. He would walk into hate-filled rooms. Charlie Kirk would speak out of love and compassion. And even though he put up that resistance to speak what he felt was biblical truth, he was killed for it. And here's the thing for me, is that when you look at the lay of the land, if you will, across America, a lot of the blame today on campuses across America, and I'm not blaming the University of Kentucky, but I'm blaming all campuses when it comes to students, faculty, when it comes to the mission statement, when it comes to those things that are of importance, when it comes to free speech. Those things need to be protected, and it needs to come from the top down. You have to protect it. And when you see things that aren't going the right way, you need to speak up as a student. You need to go to your superiors and challenge them. Because we've been trained and conditioned, well, if someone who's higher than our, ranks higher than our professor, we got the mentality, well, if they say it, it's true. That's not necessarily the case. They're flawed as anybody else. So I challenge you as students, when you see an injustice, even when you don't even agree with the person, they deserve the right to speak freely. So I just want to encourage you to take up that mantle and to push forward too. And I've been a proud co-sponsor of many First Amendment bills, and I will continue to do so as a Congressman.
Representative Gordon, we're now moving this way. Next question. The political parties in D.C. tend to be pretty unified, but we've seen real diversity within the Republicans of Kentucky on a number of issues, tariffs, and just yesterday, Rand Paul voted against the continuing resolution. As best you can, in terms of that divide that we see within Kentucky's Republicans in D.C., where would you place yourself? Where would you see yourself standing?
So at the end of the day, I am beholden to you. I am the representative of the 6th District, and so the things that are most important in our area would be the things that are most important to me. I'm someone that is very budget conscious as a small business owner. So the things that DOGE revealed was frightening to me. So anything that would help to reduce our deficit and make us more efficient and cost effective, I would certainly be in favor for those types of things. I would also be in favor of transparency. I think it's a matter of know and like and trust, and when there's that mirror there of something's going on or something's not right, that the more transparent you can be, it helps to build that trust. So that's kind of where I find myself. It would depend on the issue where I would land, but again, I'm very conservative and I'm a Christian, and I want us to be strong, I want us to be prosperous.
Thank you. We haven't passed a balanced budget since 2001, and we haven't passed successful spending bills in time since, I think it was 1997. So when you look at the schematics of what's taking place in Washington right now, it's a travesty. It really is, because the CR that's being proposed now is just a continuation of what was passed in the spring. And now we see the Democrats are in an uproar, and a lot of it is because Schumer is posturing, because he sees AOC as a threat, and he wants to draw some attention to himself. So what we see today, I would definitely would have voted for the CR. And the reason being is that that is asking to continue as things are to the end of November. So we have to understand that not all the things in the big beautiful bill, all the things that are taking place with budgetary things have really fell into place yet. There's still a lot of work to be done to make sure those things are done correctly, and they're just asking for that extension. So it was passed a clean CR out of the House into the Senate, and now we'll see what happens, but I'm hopeful that it doesn't last very long. We've got veterans, we have people who need their benefits. It's just really a travesty to see that our government has shut down. So, but if I was there, I just want you to know that I would vote for the CR, especially if it just ran through November. Now, I would continue past that probably, but I would to give all the opportunity to the officials that are working in those areas to do their work properly.
Okay. So, no, it's all right. It's right. It's holding the baton. You can just speak if you're holding the baton. That works out. So the question was, where do we see ourselves? Correct? As far as that, Dr. Voss, that was your question was.
Where do you stand on those divisions that we do see in the Kentucky Republicans on things like tariffs and the continuing resolution?
So yeah, so we're a very broad tent party. First of all, I think that's important for us to know that we have more, I think, vein of thought and broadening of thought within the party. We have a lot of discussions, we have factions within our party, and some view that as a negative thing. I don't think it is. I think it just involves it invites more debate, more discussions, more views on things. And it makes our party stronger, bigger. I think that's part of the reason why now we're the dominant party in Kentucky, and I think there's been so many counties flip over and become Republican. I think Montgomery County just announced recently that they've become a Republican party, which is very exciting, because that represented that county. We worked very hard with officials when it wasn't a dominant party. So that's exciting from that angle. I think when you take a look at it, though, however, when it comes to governing, people can talk about things and talk about principles and the things that you stand for, and you don't want to violate core principles. When it comes to governance, there's got to be a certain level of pragmatism as well that you have to have. Again, Ronald Reagan often talked about that if you're 80% with me, you're an ally and a friend. And sometimes we want everything that we want. We want the whole loaf of bread, and you don't want to give any of it up. But sometimes you got to cut off a little to get the most of the bread done to keep things moving forward. You have to have a bit of that ability to be able to kind of look and see how much am I willing to give up to get something to keep government moving forward, to keep the country moving forward. If you're willing to say no because I can't get everything that I want, that's not how we're going to get deadlocked and nothing's going to happen in government. So I think it's very important from that angle. As far as where you're at on the spectrum, as far as it depends on the person you talk to. Somebody to my right will say, he's too far to the left. People who are moderate look at me too far to the right. I view myself as a solid conservative. I would encourage people, again, you could look at CPAC scores and look us up online and see exactly where we line up and see if those things align for yourselves. But I've got a pretty good CPAC score as far as being conservative. I view myself that way, but I think I'm philosophically principled in the things that I stand for, that I'm vocal about. But sometimes on governance, you have to have an injection of pragmatism to be able to move the country forward and to work with the president's vision and agenda.
Okay, Representative Dotson, I have a couple of questions swirling around the same area, so I'm going to let you distill it. They all involve where you stand on the Israel-Palestine conflict in one sense or another. Some of the specific bits that question I want to know is where you stand on taking money from IPAC, pro-Israel Political Action Committee, and how do you feel about efforts to combat anti-Semitism that we've seen lately on campuses and elsewhere?
I highly condemn anti-Semitism to begin with. As a pastor, I've spent my career over the last 28 years upholding Israel, speaking highly of Israel, but I'm also very studious when it comes to the fact that I personally will not take AIPAC money. And the reason being is that I don't believe that monies that are tied to foreign entities or countries should be used to influence American elections. Now, that being said, I don't condemn anybody else that does it. That's their choice. But for me, and that's not the only PAC money that I will take. There's others. I'm choosing not to take big pharma because for me personally, I don't believe in prioritizing profit over people. So we'll see. But the thing is that Israel is an ally. They're a democracy in the Middle East. We need them. They're our friends. But at the same time, we need to keep our elections independent. We need to keep our elections among our people and not allow those foreign influences of any kind to inhibit us here in our decision.
Anyway, so it's important to know what AIPAC is. I think that AIPAC is not foreign entities, it's American Jews and Americans who want to see better relationships between the United States and Israel. And so I do support that. I think Israel's the only Western democracy in the Middle East. They've been an ally for a very, very long time, and I'm supportive of Israel. I think in terms of the conflict, if someone were to send in our country from a neighboring country and take a bunch of women, rape them, kill children, kill the elderly, take a bunch of hostages, stick them underground, and then say, well, you gotta just be nice to them now because they've done that, that country has a right to defend itself. And so there's a conflict that goes on. I think there's a proposal now from President Trump on the table for a peace proposal there that would have to return all those hostages as an automatic. And Hamas is unwilling to do that. Palestine's been unwilling to do that. Until that happens, you're not going to see, I think, a resolution of that conflict. And if I was a parent of one of those children that was my wife or my parents, I think I would feel the same way. But as far as AIPAC goes, it's an organization of American Jews. They've been very clear about that, and people who are Americans who believe in that. And it's, frankly, for people to think that they're foreigners in their own country when they're Americans and advocating for a good relationship with another country, for some of them, I think they take that as an insult. It's also important, if you want to look at where pharma monies have come from, I encourage you to look at all of our past donations to our campaigns. Do that research yourself. Because some people are going to claim that they've never taken it before, but I think if you take a look just at October of last year, there's folks up here that have taken those very donations from the corporations they've never taken it from, or will take those in the future. So it's important to be truthful when we're making those statements up here as well. But I would support Israel. I think Israel is our biggest ally in the Middle East, has been for a long time, and I would continue to support it.
So on October 7th, when Israel was invaded, they didn't go for the soldiers. They came for citizens, and they ravaged them. And every nation would not stand for the slaughter of their people. So Israel has the right to finish the fight and to protect their people. And the issue is not necessarily with Palestine, it's with Hamas. They are completely a terrorist organization. And if we think about Palestine, it's actually political fiction. Palestine has never existed as a state. And as far as AIPAC goes, they are an American organization. They're an organization for the education for Israel and our alliance with them. We need a friend in the Middle East. Israel is surrounded by enemies, and it's good to have friends. And we share natural intelligence with them, and a strong Israel is a strong United States, and vice versa. So I would definitely support them and promote the safety in that region.
Before I ask the last question, I wasn't introduced, which is fine, but I want to tell you the capacity in which I'm here. I am the faculty advisor for both the College Democrats and the College Republicans, something that I'm very proud of. But when I began those two roles, the College Democrats already existed. They just needed a new faculty advisor. They heard I liked working with students, came to me, I said, is it okay I'm not a Democrat? They said, it's fine, as long as you care about students. I was not approached in the same way by the College Republicans because they did not exist. And for a while I spoke with some people, including Michael Frazier, said, what can we do to get a College Republican organization parallel? Can we get some pizza money from anybody else in Frankfurt or anything? Two people in particular, Nathan Smith and Bella Webb, basically revived the College Republicans here on campus. And aside from finding this room, their organization also set up with Transi's College Republicans so that we could have this event. Could we have a round of applause for All right, thank you. This is the only question that actually came from me. We didn't have opposing remarks in the schedule, and I wanted to give you the opportunity to do that. So starting with Senator Alvarado. Before facing a Democratic opponent, you would first need the 6th District Republican institution. It's their better care. And what they may care about most is electability, beating Democrats. What would you say to Central Kentucky Republicans to convince them that you're most likely to keep the 6th District in Republican hands?
Yeah, thank you. So electability depends really primarily in modern elections on two things. Name ID and ability to get your message out. So we talk about fundraising is how you get your message out. The Supreme Court has determined that that is equivalent to free speech. We're going to see our financial reports very shortly for all three candidates that are up here. And one of us is going to have a very large amount of donors from people across the state, from people across the district, to be able to see the person that has the ability to get their message out. I think I'm going to be the front runner in that regard, but we'll see how the results come out on that. I think also it's important with name ID, people have to know who you are and trust you. And I would argue that if the three of us up here, I'm the person that's best known. I've run statewide for the Lieutenant Governor back in 2019. Also had a chance to run or represent 7 of the 16 counties that are in this district. I've also been a practicing physician. I've seen many, many patients out of this area. Still see patients. I still practice medicine and long-term care in several of the counties that are there now too. So I think from that angle, I think there's an ability to get to know who that person is, have trust in that individual. Can they raise the money to get the message out? That's how we're going to win elections. If you have a captain and you've got a great bullet of a message and you can't get it out there, it doesn't do you any good. You've got to be able to get that out. So I think that's one of the biggest things that's going to be adaptability. And then also, frankly, I've got a ton. If you take a look at the people that have endorsed us in this race, we have more legislators from within this district who have worked with me and have endorsed me in this race. I think I'll have the best opportunity to serve the district, get things accomplished. I feel very confident in that, and I would encourage people that as they hear us, if you have more of these forums, I feel comfortable in these forums and an opportunity to share ideas and compare ideas. I look forward to more of these. I think that each of these will be able to earn more trust for my eligibility.
Thank you. I have spent my whole career in listening and communicating, and I feel like I'm someone that is just genuine. I'm genuinely concerned. I think people in general are tired of the script. They want someone that they can relate to, someone that they can reach out to, and someone that they can talk to. As far as electability, I think that I have the best chance. In fact, you may have ran statewide, but the reason your failed campaign is the reason that we have Andy this year. So I feel like I'm the one that can carry this district, and I'm the one that can relate most to the people in this district.
Here's my say. Name ID is all good and dandy, but you can have good at name ID or bad name. So you have to raise a lot of money to overcome the bad. So here's the thing. I'm a fighter. I'm a warrior. I'm unapologetic. I'll pull out the sword and I'll put up a good fight. So you're going forward. The thing is that Donald Trump won this district by 15 points. Andy Barr won it by 25. The Republicans are going to keep it. Because here's the mode and the method is that we really have to get someone who can win this seat in the general. I'm going to tell you, one of us three is going to win that seat. I can tell you that now. But we have to reach across the aisle. We have to appeal to the moderate Democrats. And I'm able to do that because I'm not just a social issue guy. Yes, I'm conservative. I'm not going to change that. But I'll be out there fighting. I'll be out there touching the people. And there's nobody that'll work harder. I'll have 100 people with boots on the ground campaigning all over Fayette County, and nobody else up here can do that. So I just want to thank you. Join my campaign, and we'll work and we'll win this together. Thank you.
We're very fortunate to have 3 current and former state legislators being willing to come and talk to us today. Can we have an applause for them?
Situation that was actually planned. We wanted to see how you guys adapted and changed. So some shout outs first. I do want to give a shout out to the Fayette County Republican Party for the speaker. Big help there. I want to give a shout out to some people I see get the Kentucky Democratic Party. I see some of them are here. I want to welcome them as well. And then also, I want to give a shout out to the students, Transy that all came. Big support. Look, we can't do this without you guys. One thing that is correct is that one of these 3 will be the next congressman or woman for the state of Kentucky. I cannot wait to work with whoever wins this primary. Can't wait to go out and knock on doors. This is not going to be an easy fight, but it's going to be one that we're going to win. So thank you guys so much for coming. In pictures, and we'll be able to meet the candidates and stuff more. If you want to come meet me, if you don't know me yet, please do so. But the candidates are probably going to be who you want to meet. So, all right, thank you guys so much for coming.